All righty, guys. Welcome into the AfterSchrock. Sorry that took so long. I had to knock those calls out because there's something about watching me take calls. It's like, it's just not fun. So I thought I'd get that done before I jump back on here. All right. So I'm sending the email for the winner information. Let's see. It was Tom, and his phone number is this. I won't say it out loud because then everyone will call Tom and congratulate him, try to get his card from him. All right. There we go. Okay, so this is your opportunity to ask questions. That show went really quick. We had a lot of callers, so I didn't get a lot of time to cover newsy stuff and things like that. So if there's something in the news, there's been a lot of talk about what's going to happen to ZTE and Huawei in the coming week here. There are some rumors, and you never know what to believe anymore, but there are some rumors that President Trump might take some punitive action against Huawei and ZTE because apparently there's some breaking news that they have been doing some no-nos. They stole some technology from T-Mobile to help build their network in China, and they got caught doing it. And so now, I mean, you can literally bankrupt these companies overnight by restricting their ability to have microchips from America, and that they wouldn't be able to make their phones anymore because they can't make the chips in China that we can make here. So there's going to be some fun stuff going on there this week. But yeah, if there's anything else going on, okay, who's the spokesman for Huawei? I have no idea who the spokesman. Oh, yeah, that's right. Duh, I didn't get to that. Oh man, it's Al Gore. They got Al Gore. Yeah. So let me see. Let me find this story here. Oh, where is this? ZTE. All right. ZTE makes 5G call on prototype smartphone and end-to-end kit. Company with reputation problems calls in Al Gore's failed U.S. Vice President. Oh gosh, yeah. So they ZTE is teamed up with China Telecom 5G call. This is a great test. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So fun times there. But yeah. So basically, it's going to be interesting to watch. Like this 5G stuff, the small cell tax thing is a really big deal. I was at a LIBA luncheon, Lincoln Independent Business Association luncheon last month, where they had the Speaker of the Legislature talking about. He literally walked everybody through. He said, we have all these senators, and every senator has a bill or a pet project they want to introduce. So when we introduce them, the Nebraska unit, because we have a unicameral, most states that have a two-chamber legislature, whoever the speaker is basically gets to dictate everything. So like when Nancy Pelosi became the Speaker of the House, she got to name who goes on what committee, right? So she gets to pass out the favors, and if she doesn't like the work you're doing on a committee, she can pull you off that committee and replace you. Same thing with state legislatures. The Speaker can put people on committees, and you'll have committees that are, the Committee on Agriculture will be considering a small cell technology bill, and it doesn't have anything to do with agriculture, but the reason it's in the committee is because the speaker knows that his guy in the committee will march that thing through and get it done, so he gave it to him. And then if he doesn't get it done, he'll yank him and replace him. He gave a great story, an example of that actually happening in the legislature. And he goes, Nebraska, we can't do that because we have a committee on committees. So the committee positions are appointed by a committee themselves. So the speaker of the unicameral doesn't have the ability to, politically reward or pass political favors. So the Nebraska system is very transparent in that way. And so basically everything is very legitimate, very in line. The problem is there are so many bills to consider, and there's a fixed amount of time to consider them, and a fixed amount of money. There's a budget shortfall that is going to be pretty pronounced this year that they're going to have to patch or come up with some money for. So they've got to deal with that because they have a balanced budget amendment. But then they have to get all the rest of this done. And he went through and he said it takes this much time here, this much time there. Sometimes people will agree to reduce debate on the items or whatever, but if no one agrees to that, then it takes up time from other people's bills. And at the end of the day, we just don't get things considered. This small cell technology situation, if this doesn't go through, Lincoln is the capital of Nebraska. And if you can't get small cell technology, if you can't put 5G in the capital of Nebraska, what is considered the star on the map of the state, Omaha might get it eventually, but it's going to delay it. It's going to delay. They're going to go to states. They have a fixed budget to invest this stuff, guys. They're not going to just give the city of Lincoln. I don't know how many cell towers Lincoln has or how many would be estimated to cover the city of Lincoln. Easily 1,000+ towers. And at $1,900 a tower, I mean, come on. And then that's 1,000 existing towers. So let's say then you have to have 4 times that number. That's 4,000 towers at almost $2,000 a tower. And it's the city of Lincoln. They're just saying, if you want to put that in our city, you're going to pay us that money. And they're like, well, you did it for 4G, you'll do it for 5G. So the city of Lincoln's not going to negotiate, not going to slow its roll at all. But it's just frustrating because then the people in the city wonder why they don't have the great new technologies that Omaha has. Why did it take Lincoln so much longer to get gigabit internet than it did Omaha? Why did it take Omaha longer than Kansas City? There are some reasons. The backbone comes out of Kansas City. Google Fiber started the project in Kansas City. There's some geographic reasons for that, but a lot of this stuff is taxation, and we have a lot of taxes in Nebraska, a lot of crazy taxes. My wife got a new vehicle, and I had to go register it. So we got it all registered up, and they're like, "Wow, that's a nice vehicle. The tax on that's going to be over $1,000," and it just. The person at the window said that with such glee in her voice, and it literally it steamed my apples, because I was like, what business is it of yours what car my wife drives? Yes, I got my wife a nice car. What business is that of yours or the state of Nebraska? Why is the state of Nebraska? Because I paid a lot of money for the car. That doesn't mean I have a lot of money to pay the taxes on the car. And this car doesn't cost, it actually produces less pollution. It's a lighter vehicle than the 1992 Expedition SUV that all the other people are driving around. That's cheap, that they don't pay any taxes on. And I get it. You can't charge a poor person $1,000+ in wheel tax. Or no, it's not wheel tax. It's the progressive vehicle tax for the county. So, and it is what it is. I'm not going to change anything here talking about it, but it's just frustrating. It really is, because, the property taxes go up, the vehicle taxes go up. And now they're going to tax the cell phone towers. And there's a tax on my cell phone bill. So it's like they tax the provider. They're taxing the consumer. Enough with the taxes. What are you even doing with all the money? I think my wife is telling me to stop talking about taxes. Let's see. Wow. She says, wow. So anyway, all right, I'll stop. Back to technology. If you have technology questions you'd like me to answer that have nothing to do with Al Gore or taxes, we can take care of that on the show today. Or French vanilla coffee, apparently. Oh, let's see. Okay, he did invent the internet. Yes, he did invent the internet. All right, is my Inspiron 3000 AMD A6 solid state? This is the problem with Dell units, Mitch. You can tell me it's an Inspiron 3000 series. So the Inspiron 5000 series was the holiday special laptop. So the Inspiron 5000 can be a $1,500 computer, or it can be a $300 Walmart Black Friday special. It just depends on how it's configured, honestly. So here's how you can find out, though. Odds are I'm going to tell you with an A6 processor is considered a budget grade processor, so it probably does not have a solid state. Probably not. But you can check it out. On the bottom of your Dell, there's a service tag number. And if you go to support.dell.com, it'll have a box that you can type that service tag number in, and it will bring up the configuration of your computer. The acronym for a solid state drive is SSD. The acronym for a hard drive is HDD. So sometimes if you see an SSHD, that's a solid state hybrid drive. Don't want that either. You want the solid state drive. So I'm going to tell you, for the most part, it's probably guaranteed that your Inspiron 3000 does not have a solid state given the processor that it has, but you might want to just double check to be sure, or we can always check it if you bring it in. If you bring your computer into us and you want us to replace your solid state and you already have a solid state, we're not going to replace it just for fun. We're going to tell you. Okay. Aw, yes, Keith. I try hard, Keith. Not always successful, but I try. All right. I'm okay with complaining about taxes. And that's the thing, as I get older, and I'm looking at like taxes my dad pays, and I'm just in his house, and I'm like, how does he afford this? I mean, in Nebraska, especially with our median population being older than the national average, how can you afford this? And we have really nice communities. So I guess on one hand, we have cities that are very nice. Lincoln is a nice city. Papillion is a nice city. Omaha is a nice city. So, we are receiving services in exchange for our tax revenue, But there's also no doubt in my mind that there are things in the city that could be done with less money or less interest, or some less bonds, less. Why is it that other states have nice cities and lower taxes? Now Nebraska will say, the Speaker of the Legislature will tell you, you should just give us a couple million more people and we're good to go. So it's a population issue. So if we all went out today and each had 3 babies, Keith, get on that. You have to have 3 babies. I don't know how you're going to have a baby, but you need to have 3 babies. If all of us had 3 babies, then, because some people aren't going to do it, but that's why we have to have 3. Otherwise, it would just be 1 or 2. But if we have 3, we'll have guaranteed population growth. In fact, maybe we should just tie all the national news stories together. I happen to know a way that we could easily add a couple thousand people to the population of the state of Nebraska. I'm just saying. I'm not going to go there. All right. What about hazelnut flavored coffee? I used to be a big fan of hazelnut, John, actually. I used to do it all the time. But here's the thing. So I go to Buc-ee's. I was explaining this to my producer. So I go to Buc-ee's, and this is my cup here. My wife got me this beautiful handle here. It says Thor. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's a leather stamped handle for this, because otherwise it's just a Yeti, right? So you can take this handle and push it down like that, and it's just a Yeti, right? With the straw lid option. Brand new straw lid today too, because I replaced it because my other one was looking a little coffee stained, kind of nasty. So I fill it up to here with ice, okay? Because this thing will keep coffee like burn your face off hot all day, so you have to cool it down a little bit from the get-go. So I put that much ice in there, and then I put 5 seconds of creamer in from the machine, right? And the reason I go to Buc-ee's is they have fresh ground coffee, and it sounds really stupid, but once you go to fresh ground coffee, you will never go back to like Folgers in a can ever again. Ever again. You're going to get a little, even if you don't have the expensive coffee thing, you can get a little grinder for like $15, and you put the whole beans in there and you grind them up, and you have to experiment a little bit to find the coarseness, how fine you want to grind it, and you brew that coffee. It tastes so much better than pre-ground coffee. It is ridiculous. I had no idea. But Buc-ee's is one of the few places in town that has a machine that grinds the beans there. It's like Starbucks, but instead of $5, it's like $1, okay? It's frugal. So you fill it up with a little ice, you put 5 seconds of creamer in, and then 24 ounces of coffee, right? And that's, I never understood that. Is this a 30? No, this is a 32. That makes sense. But so then you fill it up and you go down the road and you got your coffee, right? I get into Buc-ee's this morning, and if someone from Buc-ee's is listening, I mean, the Buc-ee's in Papillion is run amazingly well. The staff there is great. Mistakes get made sometimes. So I get in there and I go to put my 5 seconds of creamer in, and I'm like, wow, for lack of a better word, the nipple coming off the bag where the creamer comes out of is like a mile long. I'm like, what? Did they not cut that? So I like angle my cup under it and I pull the lever down, because you never want to pull the lever down without a cup under it. That's not cool because it doesn't have a drain. And nothing comes out. But I've been to this gas station enough times that I happen to know if you open up the cooler door and you grab the scissors out of the inside, you can cut it, and you cut it at an angle because that's what you have to do to be food safe compliant. I used to be food safe certified. Serve Safe certified, that's what it is. And you cut it at an angle, and you throw the little cover in the trash, and you put the scissors back, and you shut the door of the refrigerated thing. So she comes around the corner, the employee, and she's like, what is this dude doing in my like cooler? And I'm like, and she sees what I'm doing. She's like, oh, you caught me. Yeah, I mean, she just replaced it. I just happened to walk in the door then, whatever. I'm like, I'm whatever. So if the machine's full of grounds, I'll pull the basket out, dump it, put it back in. I'm not too proud, right? So I'm getting my coffee, and I'm getting my creamer and everything. She put the wrong bag in the wrong spot because it's French vanilla on one side and it's half and half on the other. I just wanted half and half. But no, actually I get the dark roast coffee, and then I brew it really dark, actually. And then I throw creamer in it because it's so dark. You have to take it down just a notch. But the caffeine injection is beyond. So my producer was kind enough to go to the Glug Glug and get me refreshing water. So good. Unfortunately, the refreshing water does not have the important additive caffeine that is required for a 7 a.m. radio show. The cup of disgusting French vanilla coffee, however, has this needed caffeinated addition. I mean, it's not spit it out of your mouth bad, but it's that syrupy, sweet fakeness. Yeah, whatever. Like you guys tuned. 35 people are watching me drink coffee right now. What's wrong with you people? All right. All right, coffee black, no additives. Yep. I'll do that too, Robert. If I'm someplace and like they're just pouring coffee out of a carafe, like give it to me. I'll just take it black. That's right. But if I'm going someplace like a restaurant where it's a nicer restaurant and they have like the French press coffee, I'll get some creamer there because you get a little cowboy in your coffee, and little creamer takes care of that. All right, with the latest Windows 10 update, will my old Asus Windows 10 tab with 32 gig onboard memory become obsolete or a security risk? All right, so basically, as long as you're running 1809, Jeff, on your tablet, you're good to go. Now, here's the thing. Microsoft doesn't immediately retire, like if you don't have 1809, if you have 1803, for example, the previous one, or 1709, the one before that, you're still technically safe. You're still getting updates. The first one that Microsoft ever retired was the anniversary update, which was the very first new version of Windows 10 after Windows 10 came out. So they're starting to retire them, but they're going to retire them sequentially. It's exactly the same method that Apple uses. So if it sounds familiar, it's because Apple's been doing it for years. Eventually what will happen is you won't get security patches, and the new programs that come out and new apps that come out won't be available for your device. When you try to buy software, it'll say we can't run on this version of Windows, just like it says we can't run on this version of Mac OS. So right now you don't have anything to worry about, though, especially if you're running 1809. You're good to go. All righty. On high taxes, just remember the meeting that you had about the licensing program. We have a vastly bloated bureaucracy. Yes, this is true. That's what killed the Allen band. But that was federal, though, and there's even less you can do about that. Hell, they can't even do anything about anything. They can't even come to work. That's what I didn't understand. It was like, I get the whole, like, Nancy Pelosi says Trump's State of the Union should be rescheduled, and that's kind of a smack in the face. And so then Trump takes her Afghanistan airplane away, and that's a smack back in her face. But then Trump's having a State of the Union, or not a State of the Union, a speech on TV about a plan, a compromise plan. Why didn't he let her go to Afghanistan? And then in his speech say, I have this great compromise. I am willing to meet you more than halfway. I wanted $25 billion. I'm down to $5 billion. Here it is, all on the table. I'll give you DACA. I'll do the whole bit. If only you were here to talk to me about it. So here's the Republicans coming more than halfway. And this whole thing is all a joke. It's all about the 2020 election anyway. None of this is about immigration for real. This is all about election politics. So if you're going to do stagecraft, at least do it well. I thought he was an entertainer. The quote of the week, though, goes to Ann Coulter. Holy cow. We voted for Trump and we got Jeb, is what she said yesterday. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm at that point in my life right now where I'm just going to sit back. I can't influence that one way or the other. My opinion on the whole thing doesn't matter a lick one way or the other. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to install solid-state hard drives. And I'm going to take joy in my work. I'm going to make people's computers super fast. I'm going to complain about my taxes. And I'm going to go home and take care of my dad. That's what I'm going to do. And that's my day. And you know what? I ever since I've decided to do that, I've had much less stress in my life. It's been amazing to not worry about the things that you can't do anything about. It's pretty cool. All right. Too sweet. Yes, too sweet for sure. All right. The coffee he brews at home is so strong. Yeah, well, you bought me the new coffee machine for Christmas, lovely Kimberly, and that thing is epic. Oh, it's got the grinder built into it, and then it's supposed to be an espresso machine. But is it still espresso if you brew a 32-ounce mug of it? My heart explodes out of my chest. All right. It now has 1803. Not sure if there's enough space to upgrade. Oh, okay, so here's the thing, Jeff. If you're worried about available space to do the upgrade, technically you're supposed to have, they want you to have 10 gigs of space, but that's to download the actual upgrade to the internal drive and then install it on the internal drive. If you put that, if you download it instead, you can go to, if you just Google download Windows 10, you can actually download the installation file to run on a computer. So you can make, it's called the Media Creation Kit, and you can make a flash drive, or of course you can make an SD card for it. But you make yourself an installation flash drive, and you can hook that up, and then it'll go through and install it. You don't have to have the full 10 gigs available because you have the installer on a flash drive or on an SD card. So that way you can go and get all your installation done and get it installed with less space requirements. So you should be able to get it done. The other thing you can also do, if you're really short on space, Windows doesn't take up 64 gigs of space. There's something else on that tablet taking up a lot of space. You obviously can move some data off to the SD card install it, and then move the data back on again. When you're all done, I would recommend you run CCleaner to clean up all the leftovers and everything, because there'll be quite a bit left over that you can get rid of, old versions of Windows, because that keeps the rollback file for 30 days in case you want to roll back. So it's like having 2 copies of the Windows operating system on your hard drive. It takes up a lot of space. All right. Just feed him beans to chew. Okay, at the gas station one time, I tried this one time. They were chocolate-covered espresso beans. They had a little pouch of them, and it was like instant caffeine, chocolate-covered espresso beans. And I thought, you know, that's interesting. Let's try it. And the thought never occurred to me, you don't eat the grounds. You don't eat the grounds, Thor. Why am I eating chocolate-covered espresso beans? You don't eat the grounds. And they weren't that good. Like, it was chocolate, and it tasted like a coffee bean. You were sucking on a roasted coffee bean. And then when you bit into it, it was like, oh, yeah. I didn't even finish the package of them. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend just chewing the beans. It's not very good. Less than 5 gigs of free space. Well, like I said, you need 10 to do a full install. Less than 5 will be pushing it. You're going to probably have to free up some space first. But if you have not run CCleaner on that already, go ahead and run CCleaner on it. You could have multiple Windows operating systems on the drive right now from the previous update. That'll free up some of that space. It's not uncommon. When we do CCleaner during maintenance checkups, guys, sometimes we keep a records board. I think the biggest one I've ever seen was like 470 gigabytes of space freed up off of a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So most of their hard drive was being taken up by temporary files, patch uninstall files, Windows things, just stupid stuff that didn't need to be there. So run that, and it'll get you some space back if you haven't done so already. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, back to coffee. All right. What is coming for February already? See, I hinted about it in the show. I mean, do I have to put it in black and white? All right. February, we're going to do external hard drive. So basically, this month, January, was all about the internal hard drive. And so February is going to be all about backing up and external hard drives. We're going to put all of our external hard drives on sale for half off. That means a 500 gig external hard drive, which if you just got a new solid state, a 500 gig external is enough to back you up. They're going to be on special for $50 instead of $99. And the 1 terabyte external drives are going to be on special for $75 instead of $150. So it's a pretty amazing deal. Our enclosures, the modular enclosures that we have, are 3 times faster than a standard USB enclosure that you're going to get. So, and on the back, you can even look. You can put a solid state in the enclosure, and then it's ridiculous speed. Like, we transferred a file, a 6 gigabyte file, so we get a nice long consistent transfer speed. And then on the back of the box is a chart, and it shows you it takes like 40 seconds to transfer it here. With the modular, with a modular regular hard drive, it takes like half the time, and with the solid state, it's like a quarter of the time. Because a lot of people don't realize the USB 3 port on your computer is actually faster than the hard drive that's inside the enclosure. So if you put a solid state hard drive in the external enclosure, all of a sudden you get that full benefit of that USB 3.0 speed, and it makes backups happen like that. I was spending over 9 hours doing a backup of my 1 terabyte solid state. And when I upgraded to the new modular enclosure that we designed, that's why we made them. Like, this is ridiculous. I have the Western Digital in my book, USB 3, doing external hard drive backups here. This should not take this long. This is like the best drive you can buy. And when we did testing, we found out it was partially the enclosure and partially the hard drive. So we took that Western Digital and we stopped a solid state in it and we did a backup, and it was faster, but it wasn't that much faster. Then we got our enclosure made, and our enclosure uses it's a J Micron chipset. They are stupid fast. So basically, the J Micron chipset paired with the solid state is the fastest option if you're concerned about how fast your computer backs up. Most people aren't. So as a result, and don't go asking for this now, because my staff has no idea this is happening, okay? This is because everybody pressures them to find out what this. We've had people ask us for the 12-month calendar, right? And obviously, we're not going to give the 12. I haven't thought much ahead of March myself, because after March things get muddy, because the maintenance checkup's going to have to be one of the specials. And so when are we going to do that? Everybody wants to know that. Well, we don't know. We wait until we are dead. Until that time of the year when you can put plants in the ground is usually when we get so stupid slow that I'm sending employees home because there's no work. When that happens, when we're that dead, that's when we launch the special. And the reason we do that is because if we launch that special, number one, it gives my guys work to do. Number two, if we launch the special when we're at normal business levels, we can't keep up. So we're giving all of the people coming in for the special are getting just bad service. And then our other customers who are oblivious to the special, like new customers who have no idea what's going on, they come in and all they know is I took my computer to Schrock and it took 5 days to get it back. That's unacceptable. Yeah, it is. So, we don't do that. So it gets a little tough. It's time we have the ultimate upgrade, and I've got some interesting plans for the ultimate upgrade this year. We're gonna try something new, I think, and see how it goes over. It'll be a beta for sure. It's going to be beta. But yeah, it'll be a good test because I've been wanting to do this for some time, and everyone always has a reason why we can't do it. It's kind of like pulling troops out of Syria, you see. And somebody finally just has to say, "I don't care about the consequences. Pull them out." Well, and then, maybe I was hasty. So that's usually how that conversation ends. So I don't care about the consequences. We're going to do this. And then, like 2 weeks into it, we'll be like, I wish you wouldn't have done that. Oh, it's such a headache. So yeah, that's going to be probably that one. But it's going to be fun to do it. And that's the whole thing. 20th anniversary. Let's try some new things. Let's do some stupid sales. Let's do some crazy stuff. And so the external hard drives, actually, that was by request. That was a Facebook viewer's request. I said, give me an idea of something you want to have on special that we've never put on special before. And someone said your external hard drives. And I thought about it, and I was like, we introduced a whole new product, and we never put it on special. I think that's the only product we've ever introduced in the history of the company that we didn't have a sale to like kick it off. So yeah, let's do that. So that was a great call. So any other ideas, guys? We're open to ideas, the things you want to see put on special. All right, let's see here. You're not supposed to suck the chocolate off. You're supposed to chew it up and mix the bean with the chocolate. Dark chocolate-covered coffee beans are awesome. There weren't directions on the pouch, okay? Oh, okay. But I'm grinding my beans now. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Yep. Thumb drives are getting bigger and bigger every day. February 2nd, I'll be in for my external drive. All right. The other thing, too, this is completely off topic. Is lovely Kimberly still listening? I don't think she is. I hope not. Let's see. She was there. Are you still listening, lovely Kimberly? Or did the kids wake up? Okay. So, lovely Kimberly, I had a question the other day. My wife makes the most amazing cookies, and she is really gifted at decorating them. And so she's had people ask her to, like, can you bake cookies for this event or that event? And, she makes them as, like, a friend-to-friend thing, or, like, come on over, let's make some cookies. I'll show you how I do it, and, we can do it together. that kind of stuff. So for Valentine's Day, this was the first time she actually thought, maybe I'll do something and, like, just offer them on the neighborhood Facebook page or something, and, like, like a cookie Valentine, something different. Like, it's not flowers, it's not a card. It's $10, $12 for 2 big cookies in a box, all dressed up nice. They have like a little love message on them or something like, oh, I just devour your love, or something. I don't know. That's not what she's gonna say, but that's what the Thor brain comes up with. That's why she's the maker of all things pretty, because Thor makes things and they're square and boxy and ugly and utilitarian, and all of a sudden she makes them and it's like, oh. But anyway, so I wanted to ask this question. Oh, she is there. Dang it. And the kids are up. What do you see? Now it's ruined. What you ruin everything. No. What do you guys think of that idea? Like, would you spend $10 or $12 on a cookie Valentine in place of flowers or chocolates or something like that? Or would you buy one for your kids? Just quick question, because we're talking about, like, there's people in our neighborhood and there's people who are our friends. And then there's, when Kim makes these cookies, she doesn't realize how good she is at it. And she won't admit how good she is at it. She's very critical of her work. She's like, no, it's not perfect. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's delicious. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have any more mess ups? Can you mess up more often? Because I love that. But anyway, I'm just curious. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm not selling you anything here. I just want to get your opinion on $10, $12, $15. What would the right price point be for a couple large themed cookies that are locally made that look good, for a Valentine's gift that's different than what you would normally get? Yes, guys, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's like 3 weeks away, okay? So now is the time to start thinking about it. Imagine a world in which you bought your Valentine's Day stuff now. You have enough time between now and Valentine's Day to forget that you bought it. I've done this. To forget that you bought it and then freak out and then remember and be like, I'm the man. So I'm just saying. So that I'm just asking for an opinion on this one. So you can post your opinions down below. Yes, you're not supposed to be listening. So anyway, all right. So let me know what you guys think of that. If you would get, let me know if you would buy one or not. And it's okay to say no. It's all right. I'm curious of what the price point is, because if you go to Hy-Vee and you go to get one of their gargantuan cookies, and this is not what Kim's going to hate me for this comparison. These are not what the cookies look like. We're talking like next level stuff here, okay? But if you go to get like a decorated cookie in the Hy-Vee baker, you're going to spend $2 or $3 a cookie pretty easily. So 2 of those would be like $6. So these are much more artistic than that. Let's put it that way. She's going to kill me for that comparison, but for $5 you can get a couple. You can get a couple flowers. I can also buy a rotisserie chicken at Costco. Just saying. Nothing says I love you, Jeff, like a rotisserie chicken from Costco. Hey, baby, no dinner making for you tonight. Chicken time. She's like, did you get a side? I'll be right back. Yeah. Rotisserie chicken. Allow us to pay our bills and cookies. All right, guys. All right, so last call for questions, and I got to wrap it up and get moving. So let me know, last call for questions, and then they can be cookie related, they can be computer related, they can be solid state related, whatever you've got on your mind. And then no more politics though, no more taxes. I don't have enough coffee in me for that this morning. I'm judiciously sipping with like an IV as needed. All right. Yeah, we're about 36 minutes into the AfterSchrock. I think it officially qualifies as a second radio show at like 40 minutes, I think. But all right, no more questions? Questions going once. Questions going twice. All right. Thank you for joining us, guys. I appreciate you listening to the program. I appreciate you watching the AfterSchrock. If you have a moment, please drop us a review on Facebook or Google. Let us know if you had a great experience in the service center, or if your solid state drive is just changed your life. Let us know that stuff. Those things, number one, they make a difference for us, for our morale, because we love to hear when the work that we're doing is making a difference. A small difference. I mean, we're not changing people's lives or anything, but it's making a difference in their lives a little bit. It fills our bucket, let's put it that way. Also, from a more pragmatic standpoint, when you name specific employees in reviews, you greatly increase the odds of them receiving a pay raise. So, with that said, if you do remember who helped you at one of the service centers, please pay attention to their names when they answer the phone and stuff, so that you can write great reviews for them. Because they know this. And I've tried to encourage them to ask for reviews by telling them that I'm basing part of their pay raise decision on how many customers review their work. So if you want to get a big raise, you should get a lot of reviews. It works good for the company. It works good for you, right? So then they ask for, these guys are so good. They ask for the reviews, but they don't push anyone to put their name in it. They don't even give them their name a second time. So it's like you have good people working for you when you hear that. That or they're just incompetent. They just forgot, All right, guys, I got to get rolling here. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me scroll down. Is the external sale on SSD? Is the external sale on SSD? Roger asked. Is the external sale on SSD? Can you put an SSD in an external and get it on sale? No, the current solid state sale is buy a solid state hard drive. We'll install it in your computer for free and transfer your information for free. If you want to buy a solid state as a secondary backup drive and put that inside the computer as well, then we don't have a problem with that. We'll install it for free. And then you can get that installed in the computer. I guess we can put one in an enclosure too. The challenge is with the enclosure, there's an additional cost because there's more hardware. So that might cost a little bit more, because just at like $25 more, because it's the enclosure along with the drive. But we could do the same thing for you there. I mean, it's the same price you're gonna be charging when we put them on sale. Now, I guess the other question is, are the solid state externals going to be half off in February? That's something we haven't considered yet. Because we knew we were going to do the 500 and the 1 terabyte, but are we going to offer solid state externals half off as well? Maybe. I don't know. We haven't thought that far ahead yet. The other question is, if you wanted to get an external, or if you wanted to get a backup drive, because that's the whole point of the external, is a backup drive. If you wanted to put the backup drive inside your desktop computer, is it on special for half off? Because that requires installation labor, whereas the external, you just plug it in. So there's some asterisks we're going to figure out. Just like with this sale, there are some asterisks, like you have to buy the solid state drive from us. You can't bring us in a solid state and have us put it in for free. You know, when we install the solid state drive, there may not be room to keep your original drive in the computer. Most people don't want to keep it, but some people are kind of protective of that. So we do wipe all the drives that we take out of the computers before we recycle them, so that way your information doesn't get out anywhere. We save them for 15 days just in case there's some freaky weird thing that happens and something's missing. Like, you know, what Mike was saying, for example. You know, he kept his hard drive, but if, you know, for whatever reason, if a medical file didn't get copied over, I'm sure it did, because the odds of one file not getting copied and all the others getting copied perfectly. And it's not that it didn't get copied, it's that it was edited. Something's not right there. But anyway, but if there was a situation like that, having that original drive allows you to plug that back in and get that file back. All right. Cookware, an idea that some would like. Oh. Your. Roger says your. And then Janice joined. Hi, Janice. Yeah, it alerts me when you join too. Janice is going to leave. I think I just freaked her out. All right, guys, I got to get rolling here. I don't know if I'm getting donuts or not this morning. We'll figure it out. But I'm definitely getting a new cup of coffee because French vanilla coffee blows. I'm just saying. Just saying. I drink this much of it because it's that bad. Don't get the bags mixed up at the Buc-ee's gas station, guys. Come on, please. This is like 101 stuff. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the service centers. We expect to get busy today. We're open from noon to 5, so we expect to get kind of busy because of all the expected weather that didn't come. But then Monday, we're going to start to. I would expect that we're going to start to get hit with procrastinators by Friday. That's how these sales always work. In the beginning, we get a big punch of people, all the early adopters, and then it comes down and it levels out. And then there's maybe a weather event that causes a spike here and there. And then the last few days of the sale, we just see a spike. If you can't make it in right now, or if maybe you're out of town and you're thinking about grabbing this at a later date, you can purchase the certificate for this sale on our website at schrockinnovations.com. I didn't mention that during the show. I should have. But you can go there under specials and you can actually buy the upgrade that you want. Just make sure you get one that's big enough. I mean, otherwise we'll charge you the difference if you need a bigger one. It's not the end of the world because the price of the drives is the same. It's just you're getting the free labor by buying the certificate. So you can buy that certificate on our website and then come in at your convenience when it's a good time for you. That way you don't have to rush around, especially if there's weather or something like that. They're expecting some snow, and they said there's going to be maybe an inch of snow next Friday, which means we're going to get 71 inches of snow in blizzard conditions because they're only supposed to get a dusting, right? But when we're supposed to get like 10 inches of snow and they cancel school ahead of time in anticipation, you know, there was a little bit of ice, I think. That's about it. Lincoln got a little bit, but yeah, nothing like what was expected. All right, now I'm rambling. All right, guys. All right, Russell says cookies. You guys are confusing me now. Your very cookies are. If you guys are going to do this, you have to start with one person starts with a sentence like, I was on the way to the store when, and the next person fills in the next line. So I'm going to end the show now. You guys keep going. And I'll start it off. I was on the way to Schrock Innovations when suddenly ... There you go. Now you continue the story, guys. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Have a great afternoon.